Jill? Jill?
I'm back.
Yeah, we know about that, honey. We know. We're gonna do something about it right away.
Please. What time is it?
It's a little after 7 in the morning.
You're still here?
I wanted to be here when you woke up. Tell me, besides your back, what hurts?
My legs. My head.
Okay. Your leg hurts because we repaired torn artery, and you got a bump on your head in the ambulance coming in from the island.
I don't remember.
See, the major problem is your back. You have a displaced vertebra. Possible fracture. We're gonna do surgery on you this morning. We're gonna go in, we're gonna find out what the problem is, and we're gonna take care of it.
Surgery?
And now, don't you worry. We've got one of the best men in the entire country to do it.
Okay. What about Edmund?
The funeral is going to be at noon.
Seneca.
I'll stay with you through surgery. Then I'll go to the funeral.
Tell me, did he suffer?
No.
The idea of him being in pain.
Jill, it was instantaneous. He didn't know what happened.
I know I should have stayed with him.
Jill, stop that. Now, stop it. There was nothing that you could have done.
I know I...
Jill, don't try to move. Now, this is one time you're gonna have to listen to me. You lie absolutely still, because see, every time you move, you do some harm to your back. Do you understand?
Yes, I'll try not to move. Seneca.
Yeah.
Thank you for being with me.
Where else would I be, huh?
Good morning, Jill. How do you feel?
Hurts.
I told her about the surgery.
Good. We have Dr. Barnhill, who's one of the best neurosurgeons on the East Coast, to take care of you. I'll be observing.
Lend a hand if he needs it.
Yeah. You won't need it. Now, how about it? Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. Anything to stop my back from hurting.
Well, that's what this is all about. I'm going to give you a pre-op anesthetic, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna go to sleep right here in this room, and then you're gonna wake up here when it's all over.
Seneca.
Yeah.
Will you tell me, please?
Sure.
Mm. Oh. I feel that shot.
Good. Now you let yourself go to sleep, huh? When you wake up, you're gonna be feeling a lot better.
Maeve, it's a miracle.
What is it?
My hand, the trembling's gone away.
Oh.
I buttoned my blouse not even thinking.
Oh, isn't it wonderful?
After months of watching that hand with a life of its own, shaking more and more, now look.
Oh, Patrick said that if the medication was going to work, it was going to work soon.
I can't believe it. Oh, Maeve, thank you for Patrick.
Oh, it does make a mother's heart proud. Oh, Annie, how lucky we were. that one of those dreadful diseases that we were worried about? It wasn't any of that.
I'm a bit breathless. I suppose that's what they mean about good news, taking your breath away.
Well, I would say you're entitled. Oh, I'm so pleased.
I never believed this trip would do any good. It was just that I would have a last look at you.
John, the medication has worked Annie's hand to stop trembling. Isn't that so?
Oh, the medicine worked. That's fantastic. Look. All right, Finn. Sit. Sit, boy. Sit. Atta boy.
Look.
Well, then that airplane trip was worth it, wasn't it,
Oh,
darling?
you might say so.
Well, now the next thing is to give a little thought to the Caleri farm, and I have been giving a little thought to that lately.
Oh, excuse me. Hello.
Hello, Maeve. It's Seneca.
Oh, Seneca. How is Jill this morning?
I just took her into surgery. She wanted me to call you. We should know in a little while.
Oh, she's in the operating room.
You want to go over?
Tell me something, Seneca. How long is the operation going to take?
Oh, about 2 hours, I'd say. And she'll sleep, and I'll go over to the funeral.
I see. Do you mind if I ask you who's over there with you?
Roger's observing, and Faith is sleeping, and we'd like to keep her that way until Jill gets out of surgery. She's still got the funeral to go through.
And what about you?
Well, I'm here waiting.
Alone?
No, I don't mind. Matter of fact, I'm not feeling much of anything.
I think I'd better go over. Seneca, would you mind if I came over?
No. Maybe that's not necessary. There's really nothing that anyone can do.
Well, if Jill asked you to tell me and you're sitting over there alone.
No, Maeve, it's very generous of you, but I really don't want you to go to the trouble. I'll call if there's any news. Thanks anyway.
Seneca? Oh, hung up, the foolish man that he is. I think I'm going over nevertheless.
Now, darling, after all that man has done to Frank, I mean, I feel sorry for him, but he is not a friend of this family.
John, the man has just lost his child and may lose his wife. That's a girl that we've both cared about since the day she was born.
You're right. You could go on over, darling. I ought to have my mouth washed out with
Yes,
soap.
excuse me, Finn. She's asked to see me.
Will you please tell Jill how sorry I am about Edmund and everything?
Oh, I will. Annie, thank you so much for the good news.
Oh, I feel as if you've given me back my life and you're thanking me.
Oh. See you later.
Bye. I guess I shouldn't have said that about Seneca. Not at a time like this.
From what I can gather, right now, Dr. Bolak needs all the help he can get.
Seneca?
Oh, hello, Maeve.
Oh, now I'm not so sure that I should have come by. Perhaps you would prefer to be alone. You know, making conversation could be hard on you.
No. Actually, I welcome the company. Please sit down. Very generous of you to come, especially since Frank and I aren't on exactly the best of terms.
Well, in times of tragedy, we're expected to ignore those differences. The truth is that you both loved Edmund. And it's a great loss to both of you.
Yeah.
You're going to be at the funeral, right?
Well, I told Jill that I'd see her through surgery, and then she'll sleep, and I'll go over to the funeral afterwards.
Well, after the service, we're going to have a few people by Ryan's. We'd like to have you there.
No, I don't know, Maeve.
Well, Seneca, we'll be talking about Edmund and what a fine boy he was. I mean, it might help.
Oh, I very much appreciate, what you said earlier about overcoming things, but, I mean, Frank's gonna be there, and I can't imagine it's gonna be comfortable for anybody with the two of us in the same room. I showed up at the hospital last night, and I sent him home.
Well, I wish I didn't think there was truth in some of what you're saying.
It's a very generous thought, Maeve, and I thank you. Besides, I've got to come back here anyway.
Well, I'm sorry that you can't be there. I do believe that sharing grief makes it a little bit easier.
I'm not sure I can grieve.
You mean you haven't cried?
Oh, maybe once or twice, I suppose, but most of the time it's like nothing happened. I mean, Absolutely nothing inside.
And right this minute, for instance?
Well, my head knows, of course, that Edmund is dead, and it's a terrible tragedy, and I can't stop thinking about him, but, inside, nothing.
Man, I expect there's a lot of feeling deep down.
In theory.
Well, you say that you think about him. I mean, what do you mean by that?
Well, you know, I imagine how he'd be when he grew up, say 12, and we could go off together.
On a trip?
Yeah, I wish that he had lived long enough for me to take him home to Pistol.
To Canada?
You know, see my mother.
Yes.
In Lumber Mill.
Yes. She would have liked him.
Oh, she would have been crazy about it.
Yes. And once you were in Canada, what would you and Edmund have done?
Well, see, I had this trip planned. There's a river that runs between these two lakes about 40 miles apart. And in a couple of places, the rapids are so high you have to get out and then walk the canoe around them.
Oh, Edmund would have loved that. I mean, he would have grown up in the city.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And I would have taught him how to fish with a sharpened stick and how to survive in the wilderness with only a knife, and he would have loved it.
Yes, I'm sure.
See, Maeve, Edmund didn't have to be a city kid. I mean, there would have been chances to teach him about the country.
And why would you have wanted to do that, Seneca?
Well, I mean, it would have been important for him. He might have enjoyed it, and it was something that meant so much to me. You know, I would have liked to have shared it.
And why would you have wanted to share that with him?
Because well, it was something I had to give. It was a part of...
And why would you want to have given it to him?
Because I loved him.
Not only is it steady, but I can button my blouse. I can thread a needle, I can carve a roast, or carry a piece of china across the room without wondering if it's going to end up in 100 pieces.
Aunt Annie, I'm so happy for you. Isn't it great that it was Pat who's the one who figured out what was wrong?
When your mother insisted that I fly across the Atlantic to have somebody look at my hand, which was like a sailing across wind, I didn't believe it would do any good.
Well, I tell you, we were pretty worried about it ourselves.
Yeah, they were.
And so was this mighty beast here, weren't you, Phil?
Well, he has a good heart, as anyone can see.
Well, now that we got the hand taken care of, let's see what we can do about what can be done about the Caleri farm.
Done? I don't imagine there's anything to be done, John.
Well, you know as well as I do, it would break Maeve's heart to have that place sold for taxes.
No, hers and mine, and my daughter Maggie's, and her husband Red's.
Well, then it mustn't happen. Now, let me get a pencil and paper. We'll get some facts and figures together. Oh, Siobhan, this came for you in the mail today.
Oh, good. Thanks, Daddy.
What do you want a pencil and paper for?
Well, I want to find out exactly what we're talking about. Come here, big boy. Sit. Lie down.
I think you're up to something.
Well, I might be. I might be. Now, Annie, do you mind telling me exactly how much you owe in back taxes?
£600.
Well, that's all.
Well, it's not very much, I know, but it adds up every year. And what about the point, even if we could pay it, to bleed ourselves every year for a place that no one can live on or work?
Well, that's it, isn't it?
What is?
I mean, there's no point in paying all those back taxes unless you can make the place a working farm again and show a profit.
John, we could never afford that.
Ah, never say never, a favorite old aunt of mine used to say. Now, Annie, think hard and tell me this. How much would it cost to restore the farm, the whole thing, the house, the barn, new equipment, the works?
The whole place? Well, it would cost, let's say, £10,000 for the house alone.
Well, let's say 15,000 because it would need new wiring and plumbing.
Oh, that would be better, sure.
And the barn and equipment.
Do you mean new or second-hand?
No, the best.
Oh, well, it would be another £10,000 plus 5,000 for the livestock.
Right, 5,000.
Daddy.
Right, shh, in a minute. Now, suppose we got the whole place working again. How much would it cost to keep it going for a year until the crops came in and we could get a return?
Oh, let's say another 5,000 pounds.
5,000. All right, that comes to just a little bit over 35,000 pounds, which in dollars and cents is about 70,000.
Oh, it's a fortune. It's impossible.
Oh, don't say that.
Well, anybody with common sense would just let it go without a fuss. It's only because we're all so sentimental that we go on about it.
But the land's good.
Oh, of course it is. It's a fine place of rich soil, which is what bothers Red. He hates to see all that fine earth going for a miserable 600 pounds.
Well, I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but I might be able to come up with a suggestion.
I can't imagine what's in your head. But from the look on your face, you're not ready to tell me.
Well, there may be nothing in my head but cotton, huh? But we'll see.
Chiffon, Ryan. Someone else who can't spell Siobhan. Troublemakers get in trouble. Stay out of other people's business.
Something the matter, sweetheart?
No. No, that's all right.
You just look worried.
Well, I was, listening to you two tote up the figures about what it would take to get the Caleri farm started. That'd make anybody look serious.
Well, but on the other hand, if Maggie and Red really want to work the place...
Oh, they do. Red was born and raised on a farm in Tip. He says it's in his blood. But the money...
Money's a practical problem. Sometimes practical problems are more easily solved than those of the health or spirit. And you've already had a great achievement in that area today.
Indeed, I have.
And by the look on Daddy's face, I wouldn't be surprised if he had some ideas to solve the other problem.
Well, if that's what this is all about, I'll be only too interested to hear them.
Well, just give me a little more time to work on it, Annie, and I think maybe I can come up with a solution.
Thank you for that.
I hope you didn't mind.
That was what I needed. I understood where your questions were leading. And I didn't want you to stop because each one of your questions made me feel closer to Edmund. He would have been a hell of a kid.
I believe he would have.
You know, it comes in phases now. There'll be a moment when I feel relieved, and then
Good.
a wave of sadness.
Yes, I know. I lost 2 little ones myself.
I didn't know that.
Yes. One died at birth, and my little Sean, he was a crib death. He was a little younger than Edmund.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
Yes, and it was a long time before I could let go of it.
I'm not sure I want to let go.
Well, grieving is a way of keeping them alive.
Yeah.
So, you go ahead and grieve, and he will pass.
I don't think I can give him up.
You know, Edmund was innocent and good, and I believe that he's in a beautiful place now, Seneca. I believe that, I'm as sure of that as I am of the immortality of our soul.
I want to believe that. It's what I was taught.
You go ahead and think about him and dream of all the things that you wanted for him, for the 2 of you, for the 3 of you with Jill. And talk about him and cry for him when you can. And you'll see, peace would come.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, what we really should be thinking about now, I suppose, is Jillian.
Yes, of course.
And what I want to do, I want to be in that operating room, but I'm afraid I can't stop myself from giving orders.
Yes, well, it's best probably if you sit down here and we'll wait here together.
Thanks.
You do know the doctor?
Barnhill? Oh, yeah. He's one of the finest on the East Coast. She has to be, because it's a very delicate, very tricky business.
How's it going?
A little tricky. I'm down to the periosteum. Scalpel, please. Irrigation. Now we should be able to see better. Sponge.
The x-rays showed a visible mass. You should have it exposed by now.
Yes, but I don't know whether it's solid or vascular.
Long-handed scalpel?
Yes. No. Wait. I think it's vascular. We'd better not.
Every weekend, girls just want to have fun. It's Gilmore Girls on SoapNet. Catch back-to-back episodes of one of TV's most popular shows. Saturday nights at 9 and Sundays at 6. Gilmore Girls on SoapNet.